So, I think we're coming to the end of this series on chaos shamanism. Famous last words. I began this series thinking I've just come up with this idea for chaos shamanism. Yeah, I'll do a 10-minute video because 10 minutes is what TikTok accepts. It's changed since then, so I'm rambling on for longer, as you might have noticed. Um, and then I found I had another one, and then another one, and now there's about 40 of them. And I've been turning it into a book as I go along because I've been putting the transcripts, editing them, and putting them on Facebook because not everyone likes to watch videos and not everyone likes to read transcripts. So I'm trying to please everyone. Huh. Um, anyway, I think I'm coming to the end. I think I'm coming to the end. I've got about getting on for 300 pages of a book. So this one is on ceremony. Ceremony, in a way, gets to the heart of chaos shamanism. Because with ceremony, well, we have forms. We have forms from other cultures, mainly when it comes to shamanism. They're all from foreign cultures. All the established traditional ones, of course they are, because we don't have them anymore in our modern Western culture. And so how do we relate to that? That is the kind of question of chaos shamanism. And to know how to relate to that, you have to know what the essence of shamanism is. So you can reach up and know what to do with it. Yeah. It's a bit like with these foreign ceremonies, foreign inverted commas, we're given the branch of a tree, but we don't have a tree to hang it on. So it can be hard to make sense of it. And so with chaos shamanism, I'm trying to say, well, here's the trunk, here's the heart of it, and here's how to hang it on. Here's how to graft it on in such a way that it becomes our tree. And not just something that we bow down respectfully in front of, saying, here's the real thing. Yeah. And we're just these beginners. It's like, no, we're the real thing too, as I've been banging on relentlessly throughout this series. And so, what is this essence? Well, the essence is the chaos. The essence is the great mystery within us. This thing that is outside form, chaos, the vast abyss, which is its original meaning, the vast abyss in ancient Greek times that was there before the world. So it brings us right back to creation and its source, which is what we are. We are just this source within us, in which there's this endless bubbling up of life, of form, of images, of ideas, of feelings. Yeah, it's this creative fount. That's what the chaos is. I mean, the vast abyss is, if you like, the glass half full way of putting it. No, glass half empty. Glass half empty. The glass half full way of putting it is this creative source that's forever bubbling up. That's what the vast abyss is, and that's what the chaos is. And any spiritual tradition is essentially an aid to bringing us close to that source. And it's something we, like grandmother's footsteps, yeah? We edge towards it backwards. We daren't look at it. Yeah, the light is too bright, but we edge closer to it, yeah, while trying to hang on to that which is familiar. Yeah. We face forward to that which we know, and sometimes we back in. Spirit pulls us in to what we really are. Yeah. And it's a demanding place to live from, at least to start with. Being creative means you're always on that edge. You're always asking a lot of yourself. But you kind of get used to it. You wouldn't want to live anywhere else once you're used to living on that level. But it takes a lot, and we'd rather live with what is familiar. And the purpose of collectives is to provide us with what is familiar. And the purpose of religion, in a way, it gives us familiarity. This is how you do a sweat lodge. This is how you do a pipe ceremony. And that's what we need. And there's profound meanings contained within those forms. But they're bringing us closer to that source. And so that's the purpose of ceremony. It's bringing us closer to that source within ourselves, reminding us of that source within ourselves. I've got a book called Fool's Crow, Wisdom and Power. It's the second of two books about the great Native American medicine man, Fool's Crow, 20th century. Well worth reading. It's really worth reading about some of these guys and just imbibing what they were like. And this one's particularly good, yeah, for imbibing what it is to be like to be a kind of holy person, what it is you need to ask of yourself to become that hollow bone for the Great Spirit. This guy did what we would call miracle healings all the time. But it's because he remained close to the Great Spirit and he created a foundation of that in himself. And that's how it works. You begin by letting the Spirit reshape you. Being honest with yourself, being close to yourself over decades, and gradually you become an adequate vehicle for this much bigger power to flow through you. And then you can teach, then you can heal, then you can do all these things, then you can run ceremonies. Anyway, he was saying that it's very important to do the ceremonies as they are prescribed, yeah, to remain true to the form of them. And I thought that's an interesting point because in a way, chaos shamanism, that's a good one. Chaos shamanism would seem to subvert that, invert that, and say, well, actually, it doesn't matter because we need to get to the forms behind it, the essence behind it. But that's not what I'm saying. Those forms are necessary, first of all, for the collective. The collective needs those forms to remind them of spirit because ordinary everyday life, well, you're subsumed in the everyday and its responsibilities and its sheer material practicality and demands. And spirit can seem like something woo-woo or unreal, even though it's more real. And so the purpose of ceremony is to remind us that spirit is what matters. Yeah. And if you are already close to spirit, well, it brings you even closer. That's why Fool's Crow did his pipe ceremony every morning and every evening. He said he can do this work without the forms. Yeah, he can tune into the Great Spirit, but he still used those forms, and he probably had a particular way of doing the pipe ceremony. Because when we have particular ways of doing things, they deepen, they acquire their own power, their own egregore, as you might call it. So the forms, it's an interesting thing. On the one hand, we need to take the forms of these ceremonies very seriously. And yet, remember that they are also finally provisional and temporary and culture specific. They're both of these things at the same time. It's not either or. But you need to engage with a particular form over a period of time and engage with yourself over a period of time before you have the right to start being fluid around it and even reinventing it. And if you're in a traditional culture, you probably wouldn't want to reinvent it. You'd just be going deeper into those particular forms because if you approach them with the right fluidity of your mindset, then they don't become rigid. They remain a lens, they remain a gateway. But they so easily become these barriers, these rigid dogmas as well. It's a whole interesting area, that, what to do with it. But for us, we don't have the forms. We do have to reinvent. That's where we find ourselves. And I talked about this earlier, near the beginning of the book. And so we need simple ceremonies that we can then build on. And we probably do need to build particular forms that we do in the same way. But we always remind ourselves that they're not the thing itself. They are a gateway. They are a lens. And I want to talk about two ceremonies, just because they're the ones I know, the Sweat Lodge and the Pipe Ceremony. Both ceremonies, like all ceremonies, begin with gratitude, with giving thanks. This is something humans forget to do. That's why it needs to be in a ceremony. Because as humans, we forget to be grateful. We're too busy and we take things for granted. I think this is a big deal in our modern culture because our attitude to what is conventional, to what is established, to authority can be very anti if we're in the shamanic world or the counterculture. Yeah? And when we're anti like that, it can be hard to experience gratitude because that belongs to what we're against. But actually, that conventional, established, public, collective reality provides us with food and shelter and health and education and safety and so on. There is a lot that is very basic to be grateful for. People can feel that being grateful for those things, which amounts to appreciating that, means that they're complacent because we've got to keep an eye on the underprivileged, those who are suffering, because people don't care about them. And it's like it's not an either or. Yeah, we can be grateful for what works without, that doesn't mean we're not caring about those who are needy and those who are vulnerable. And it's very important that, remember, be grateful for the dwelling you have, the fact there's enough food. Yeah, of course these things they always, they're not, of course they've got faults. Yeah, of course our diet isn't perfectly balanced. Of course there's junk food in it. Yeah, and of course it could be better. Of course the health service could be better. Yeah, of course all these things could be better. Of course our education could be better. But we all learn to read and write. What a gift that is. Yeah, we've all got shelter. And these are very basic things. So remember that at least once a day. You might want to do it in a formal ceremony. Speak it to the spirits. Speak it to, maybe there's a place in nature you like to go to. And you do it there. Speak it to the great spirit. Speak it to Mother Earth for taking care of you. It's a very good thing to do. It really connects you to the spirit. Yeah? That's why we do it. It's not because we don't express gratitude because we ought to be grateful. It's not that. It's not a finger wagging thing. We express gratitude because it connects us. It connects us to the spirit of things, to the spirit of everything. It connects us to who we are when we remember that we have these things because we are given. Yeah? Even the qualities of your character. Yeah? I mean, I'm able to sit here and spiel like this, yeah? And that's a gift. It's a gift to me. Yeah. I haven't earned it. Well, I've earned some of it, yeah, over the years, but it's essentially it's a gift because not everyone can do this. If you've got a high IQ, be grateful for it. Don't walk around thinking I'm smarter than everyone else, which is what a lot of people do. You didn't earn that high IQ. It just came with you, yeah, somehow or another. Your parents probably had high IQs, almost certainly. It's highly heritable, and that is not fair. Yeah? So be grateful for it. Don't walk around feeling proud. Feel grateful. And the same for all the things you're good at. Acknowledge what you're good at. Yeah, that isn't big-headed. Yeah, acknowledge what you're good at. You don't have to tell everyone else. Yeah, that maybe is big-headed. Yeah, but acknowledge it to yourself and be grateful to it. You were given these things. That's why they're called gifts. Yeah, they're not earned. They were given to you. So be grateful for all those things as well. There's all these things that we can be grateful for. We can spend our life being grateful, walking around with this feeling of gratitude, of hardly being able to believe that you're alive. Life itself is a gift. Just to be alive is a joy. It's rich. And of course, there's difficult things and things we have to really engage with. And sometimes it's really bloody miserable and we don't know if we want to be here or not. But at the end of the day, it's meaningful and it's joyful. There's something rich there. We know that we have to stay here for this journey. Yeah, we have to be here for this innings, however difficult it is. Yeah, because you see, it's not about being happy. That's the mistake people can make these days. This isn't about being happy. When you look back on your life, at the bits that you remember, yeah, that were matter to you, they were probably the bits where you really grappled with something. There was difficulty you faced, and you overcame it. Now, you probably weren't happy, but that's what you remember. That's what you're proud of. Yeah? So we're not here to be happy. In a way, we're here to find meaning, and that's often a difficult process. Yeah? And through the meaning is where we grow. It's where life bubbles up through us. Yeah, and we meet that new life that is wanting to emerge and unfold, and that's a difficult process. And so we're just grateful to be here to do that. So that's where we begin. Any ceremony, we begin with gratitude. And do it once a day, or at least have it in mind. Yeah? Just feel appreciativeness for the house you've got, however inadequate it is, and for the clothes you wear. Maybe there's for the people who designed your clothes. Yeah? Be grateful to people who are successful because they often, you know, I'm grateful for the fact that I can just find something on Amazon and buy it. I'm grateful for that. It's difficult for a lot of people because Jeff Bezos is hugely wealthy and there's much to have reservation about, the wages he pays people. So yeah, keep your reservations, keep your criticisms. I'm not saying that, but also be grateful. It's what a service he provides. And we have that. Be grateful for that. Be grateful for the internet. All this technology. So yeah, we begin with the gratitude and then we move on to the prayers. And that is also central to both the sweat lodge and the pipe ceremony. Yeah. And it's being able to grasp what is essential, these things that matters, always and forever. And we so easily move away from that. So prayer, what is that? Actually, I'm going to make another video on this so you don't have to watch too much all at once. So I'll see you in ceremony part 2.